Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Caradonna's Master Series. And today we have our host, Emma Jane Fisher, representing the Legacy Hotel on Grand Cayman, Sunset House. And Emma Jane is going to take us through a journey of where Sunset House is to this day and in beautiful Grand Cayman. And we're going to have the presentation at the end for about 15 minutes. Our agent, Kim Mackey, will be joining us and addressing the questions that come in on chat. She will also be answering the questions, but the most topical ones we'll bring up and talk about. So we're ready to go to Cayman. Thanks, Emma.
Thanks, Lisa. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my presentation on Sunset House. A little bit about myself. As you just found out there, my name is Emma Jane Fisher. I am Sunset House's Sales and Marketing Manager. I'm also a dive instructor and have been a dive instructor since 2006, which is when I moved to the Caribbean. I started in Turks and Caicos, moved to British Virgin Islands, and then I've been on my island home of Grand Cayman since 2008. I have been at Sunset House for 4 years now, working for another dive company before that on the island. And I'm originally from Edinburgh in Scotland, where it's a little bit cold to dive, which is why I enjoy living in the Caribbean so much, because obviously it's lovely and warm and the waters are nice and clear, not like what they are in Scotland. So right now you can see I'm working from home. This is my office kitchen, and I'm going to take you through some information about Sunset House from here. Okay. So it is easy to get here. It's easy to get to Grand Cayman. Might not be that easy right now, but that's soon going to change, and hopefully we'll see ourselves getting back to some sort of normality. So you can see here that the Cayman Islands has a lot of different hubs throughout the US and also Canada. The island is served by a number of airlines, including our own flag carrier, which is Cayman Airways, and they fly to a number of destinations across the US. Including our newest one, which is Denver, Colorado. We also have United coming in and out of Houston. JetBlue is coming in from New York and Boston at certain times of the year. American is probably the biggest one that services, and that's coming in and out of Miami and Charlotte as well. Delta from Atlanta, and Southwest is actually started from Fort Lauderdale and also Houston Hobby. And Southwest, you know, if you love them or hate them, I've flown them a few times now, and I find them a great airline. And for divers, they still are one of the only, if not the only airline that you can travel with 2-3 bags now, which is great for all your dive equipment. And then if you're coming from Europe, we do have British Airways 4 times a week. And that comes from London, stopping in Bahamas for about an hour, and then coming into Grand Cayman. Some quick facts about the island. So obviously I live here. This is my home. Been here for nearly 13 years, really enjoying it. Can't, fault it. We're the main island. We have 365 dive sites across the 3 islands, most of them being here on Grand Cayman, with about 200 of them on Grand. Where Sunset House is located, you can see that little X on the map. We're just south of Georgetown, so just a short walk in there and you'll find lots of bars and restaurants. And then also where the X is very close to Smith's Cove, which is our nearest beach to the hotel. If you imagine the islands themselves are all like little, the tops of volcanoes. And then all around the island, we have the sheer drop-off, which is the famous walls that people come here to dive. And also really accessible from Sunset House. When you're out on our shore site, you can have access to that deep wall as well. A little bit of history about the hotel. So we are the oldest family-run dive resort in the Cayman Islands. It was started over 60 years ago in 1958 by Miss Hebe. She's 8th generation Caymanian, and it was her and her family that still own and operate the hotel. It started off, you can see the picture with the blue roof, as a 8-room guest house. Very small, still in the same location. Unfortunately, the original house is no longer there. but Sunset House is still on the original land that it was on. And then her son, Adrian, he was diving with the legendary Bob Soto, who's considered to be the father of recreational scuba diving in the Cayman Islands. And he taught Adrian all he knows, or so he says. If you have a few runs of Adrian at the bar, that's what he's going to tell you. And in 1972, Sunset Divers was started as the in-house dive company at the hotel. So at that time, Sunset House became Grand Cayman's hotel for divers by divers. We also have the very famous and popular outdoor tiki bar called My Bar. You can see a picture of the original My Bar. It does look a little bit different than that now, but we do still have our original thatched roof. And the bar is great. I mean, we have so many people that come and visit, and it's a great place to relax after your diving. The hotel and the dive operation is still owned and operated by the Briggs family. And it's actually Miss Hebe's granddaughters now that are the general manager. So to give you an idea of what the hotel and a little bit of what the island looks like, we're going to run the next slide here, and we're going to show you our latest promotional video. Put my screen back up. Good. All right, so I hope you all enjoyed that video. That gives you a great overview of the hotel and how it's looking today. Obviously a lot different from when it started 60 years ago. While we're not directly on the beach, you can see that that was Smith's Cove, just a few minutes bike ride down the road from us, so it's a great place to relax. But because we're on the Iron Shore, it is a great location for snorkeling and scuba diving and even swimming. So basically you just jump off the shoreline there and you have the most amazing dive site you could want. We also have yoga twice a week. You can see that on the picture there. We do that right in front of the hotel during sunset, which is beautiful. We also have complimentary shuttles now if you don't fancy walking. Obviously it's quite warm down here. We have complimentary shuttles that go back into Georgetown or to Smith's Cove. The bicycles that you see are complimentary. And we also just did a lot of improvements around the hotel, one of them being new and improved dive lockers. We upgraded the Wi-Fi. We have a great choice of rooms, which I'm going to show you after this slide. Our ocean pool is quite unique. It's a sea pool. Again, you can jump right in there, leads you out onto the dive site. It's also a great place to check out your dive equipment. It's been a little while since you've been diving. You can check it out there before heading off to the dive site. We also have our beautiful freshwater pool with its very own waterfall. And that sits right overlooking the ocean area as well. And actually brand new is we've added hammocks all around the resort as well. So it's really nice to relax in the shade and get out of the strong sun. So at Sunset House, we do have a variety of rooms. We have 36 rooms in total, so we're small, very personal. We get to know your name while you're staying with us. All our rooms have coffee makers and fridges, and the ocean view rooms do have added amenities like a microwave and a larger fridge as well. We do have 2 suites, which are slightly larger. The bottom picture in the slide is one of the ocean view suites. And then we have 2 ocean view apartments as well, which they're studio style, a little bit larger. They have a sitting area in them, dining area, and of course, a full kitchen. So if you did want to do a little bit more self-catering, then the apartments are a great choice. I have to say the apartments and the suites are probably our most popular than the ocean view rooms. So they do go quite quickly if you're interested in them. And then the top right picture is our courtyard room. They're our most cost effective. They come with a partial ocean view or a view of our garden area as well. So on to Sunset Divers. So Sunset Divers, as you saw, we started in 1972. It was first started by Adrian, who is Miss Hebe's son. We have an experienced crew with us. We usually have around about 12 to 14 dive staff. They're all instructors. And we offer daily 2-tank boat trips that leave right from the resort. So for instance, in a day, you get up, have breakfast, head on out to the dive shop. We load up the 2-tank boat trips. They leave about 8 o'clock. We take you out onto a variety of different dive sites that are around Grand Cayman, usually around about Northwest Point area, down the west side and onto the south. We also do north side departures as well, and we have another boat that sits out on the north to take you up onto the north wall. So when the boat leaves the dock, we go out and we hit a deep site first, which is your wall dive of the day. All our dives on the boats are guided, especially the deep one, the first one of the morning. And then after that dive and during your surface interval, we offer a second dive to a shallow reef, which you can choose to do guided or unguided. All of our dives are 60 minutes from surface to surface. And then when you come back on board, it's around about 45 to 60 minute surface interval while we move the boat to the next dive site. You're usually back at Sunset House around about lunchtime. You can enjoy lunch at my bar or in the Sea Harvest. And then in the afternoons, you kind of have the day at your leisure. All of our packages all of our room and dive packages, when you purchase the boat packages, come with unlimited shore diving. So you can choose to shore dive every day if you want. From shore, you just rent tanks and off you go. Our crew is there to give you a briefing on the dive site, and we have lots of interesting things that you can see there, like of course our famous mermaid that you can see the picture of. She's been down now for 20 years this year, so we're celebrating 20 years of the mermaid. And we also have a very small landing craft called the wreck of the Nicholson. The Nicholson sits about 70 feet, and she's a great little wreck to discover if you love macro life. There's always lots of little critters on there. Going back to the mermaid, she sits around about 60 feet, and she was designed by Canadian artist Simon Morris, and she is made out of bronze and she weighs about 600 pounds. So she's there guarding the reef, making sure everything is going all right down there. We also have a free tank safari now, which is new. That leaves from the north side and we go out for a full day. We include lunch on board. We do some wall dives, top of the wall dives, and a reef dive. Sometimes we put Stingray City in there as well. Also in the afternoons, we have 1-tank trips that go to the wreck of the Kitiwake. You can see the picture of the Kitiwake in the slide here. She's an amazing wreck. She's been down for a number of years now. She went down in 2011. She's also moved slightly, sits on her side. She makes for a very interesting dive, and we take you on a penetration dive right through the inside of the wreck. you don't want to do that, there's lots to discover on the upper decks of the wreck as well. So she's a really must-do dive when you're in Grand Cayman. Another must-do dive is our top picture there, which is Stingray City. So this is the 12-foot area that we go out to in the afternoon, and our dive guides jump in with you, and they're going to feed the rays and help corral them around you so you can interact with the stingrays. So National Geographic did vote that to be one of the best 12-foot dive in the world. So those two dives, the Kitiwake and Stingray City, are certainly signature dives that we offer at Sunset Divers and Sunset House. We also have a selection of dive boats. We have 6 dive boats. The 2 that you see here that are the Catamarans, these are brand new. They were just delivered, one in December 2018 and the other one December 2019. So they are one, if not they are, the newest dive boats on Grand Cayman at the moment. They were specifically built for Sunset Divers, custom built. They are really roomy, onboard camera bucket. They have a head on board. Because they're catamarans, they're really safe, sturdy, and with the twin outboards, they're very fast. So when you're leaving from Sunset House to get up to, say, Northwest Point to dive, very quick journey time to get up to the dive sites, which is great. The other boat that you can see in the picture is our Northside boat. That's our second newest one to the fleet. That's called Ocean Spirit. She's a very large V-hull, and we use her for Stingray City trips and also taking you out to the North Wall and the free tank safari that we do as well. So lots of boats to take you to all the different dive sites around the island. We also do a lot of diver education. Well, since recently we've become multi-agency. We were predominantly PADI, but we now have instructors on board that are SSI and also RAID. So we can help most people coming down to continue on with the agency that they want to certify with or do continuing education. We offer a wide range of courses right from the start at Discover Scuba Diving, or even before that if you have kids that want to do PADI SEAL Team or Bubble Maker, which is starting at age 8. We can offer that as well. We do teach a lot of kids to dive. You can see on the picture there a group of kids that just finished their open water course. Cayman is ideal for nitrox as well, so we offer the nitrox course most afternoons. It's a very easy course. It doesn't involve any diving. It's just really in the classroom. Cayman is great for learning to dive and also your continuing education. Our waters are safe. We don't have a lot of current. We have great visibility, and most of our training dives are done from shore. So it's very, very easy diving to start with. And then with more of our continuing education ones, we move them more onto the boats depending what's needed. So it's a great place to come if you're
1 second, folks. We have some technical difficulties. We're going to bring Emma Jane back.
And
She's back.
And they're all from different countries around the world. Please tell me my internet is not going out. Okay, I think we're back on. Sorry. So that just shows you that I'm in the islands. So I think we're back on again. What else is unique with Sunset Divers is that we also have our very own coral nursery. So a number of years ago, the Cayman Islands Department of Environment issued permits to start coral nurseries around all 3 islands, and Sunset Divers was awarded one of these permits. So you see the picture there of one of our trees. We now have 5 trees, each holding over 100 fragments of staghorn coral, and we're obviously looking to grow that as well. We work in conjunction with Ecodivers Reef Foundation, who maintain the nurseries all around all around Grand Cayman, and they also help us with the outplanting of our fragments from the trees, onto the outer reefs to help replenish the reefs. So with a number of courses that we offer in the coral conservation, you can become a citizen scientist while you're staying at Sunset House. You can help clean the nursery, you can help maintain it. We can also take you a tour of the outplanting area so you can see where these new corals are growing. So you can choose to do like an introductory one or take the full course, which is a couple of days. But it's a really great way to get involved in something that we're all quite passionate about in the Cayman Islands. We want to maintain the health of our reefs, and what we're doing with our nurseries is really helping that. And we want to share that with our guests when they come to visit. All right, so are we hungry yet? It's lunchtime where I am. So we have, as I said before, the famous My Bar, which sits right on the water. We also have Sea Harvest Restaurant, which is our air-conditioned restaurant. My Bar is a great place to meet other guests, locals, residents. It's a great place to discuss your diving adventures that you've had all day. And of course, the best part of it is that it faces the west horizon, so we get the best sunset you could possibly want while you're sipping your cocktails or having your dinner. We have a really unique atmosphere at My Bar because of the mixture of people. We have our hotel guests, and I said we have a lot of locals and residents that come in and drink at the bar as well. So it's a great place to meet people from Cayman, as well from all over the world that are staying at the hotel. So I can guarantee you will have a fun time there, and you will meet lots of new people as well that enjoy diving and you'll learn about the island. We also have our resident domino players, which you would have seen in the video as well. They're always fun to watch. It's open, both the bar and the restaurant are open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and all of our dive and room packages include breakfast. So breakfast is served each day in Sea Harvest Restaurant, and then they reopen again the bar and the restaurant and serve lunch and dinner throughout the day. The bar is open a little bit later for those of you that want to party, but remember you have to get up for your scuba diving in the morning. Sea Harvest is famous for our Indian menu. Our chefs are from Goa, India. So we have a great range of Indian food. If you like curries, you can choose to have them as spicy if you want, or like me, as extra mild as you want. But we also have a great choice of different dishes, from fish tacos, pastas, and of course local fresh fish, whatever we get from the catch of the day as well. And just to touch on that bottom picture with the glass of wine, we obviously have amazing views, not only of the sunset, but we have views into Georgetown as well. So a great place to hang out during your surface interval. We're also very fortunate to have Cathy Church on site. She is a world-renowned underwater photographer. She's a member of the Women Divers Hall of Fame and also the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame. So we're proud to have Cathy Church's Photo Center right at the hotel on site. They have a large retail store just at our reception area, stocked with island gifts, camera equipment, and lots of accessories. And she also has a gallery downstairs that you can see all her beautiful underwater shots of the islands. And her and her staff, all her photo pros, are there to help with educational courses on all levels of cameras and photography that you might need or have questions about. You can also, if you don't want to do a course, you can just hire one of her photo pros to go on a dive with you, and they'll help you find lots of critters that we have on our dive site and help you with your editing and using your camera as well. So Cathy herself is usually on site. You see her there most days, and you'll find her in the gallery, and she's usually happy to, stop and chat with you and talk about her many years diving in the Cayman Islands and all across the world. So it's something that we're very fortunate to have at Sunset House. So what are you going to do with your surface interval? Or are you traveling with your family? Do you have non-divers with you? So obviously we have 3 islands in the Cayman Islands, and Grand being the main one. And with that, we have most of the attractions and other things to do rather than just diving. So I've listed a few here that we offer tours to. Pedro Castle, you can learn all about the history of the Cayman Islands. The Spirits Company and the brewery, obviously you can tell by that. You can enjoy some rum, try our local beer. The 7 Fathoms rum is very famous because they say it's aged at depth, so their tour is very popular. In West Bay, which is where I live on the island, we have Hell. You can take a trip to Hell. There's a great post office there that you can post your card home saying that you took a trip to Hell. And we also have the Turtle Center as well, that you can learn about the turtle conservation that they do here on the island. The bottom picture is probably one of our newest attractions. That's Crystal Caves. This cave system was on private land, and it just recently opened up to the public. And it's a great guided tour that you can take to learn about the flowers and the fauna on the island, but also the cave system that you would never know was there until this opened up. I don't think anyone's tried diving down there yet, but we do know that the caves go on for some distance. We have the Royal Botanical Gardens. You can see a picture there of the banana orchid, which is our national plant in the Cayman Islands. That's a great place to go and visit, and they have a great orchid selection. Rum Point Starfish Beach. Rum Point is where you'll get your beach fix. They have a great restaurant there, great bar, great mudslides. And Starfish Beach or Starfish Point is where you can go and see the very large pin cushion starfish. Of course, 7 Mile Beach is our most famous beach. It's not actually 7 miles long, it's just over 5 miles. Beautiful place to spend the day, and obviously the water there is very calm to have a lovely swim. And then one of my favorites is Barker's National Park, which is right on my doorstep that people just don't know about. It's lots and lots of pass through there, beautiful beach, really, really quiet, but lots and lots of wildlife. So during my lockdown and my 90 minutes of exercise each day, that's where you'll find me every evening walking. And I can certainly tell you all about it when you come to Sunset House. So we do have some special offers. So we're waiting for you to all come back and visit Grand Cayman. And while we wait for travel restrictions to lift around the world, we can start planning and dreaming about our next dive vacation, which hopefully will be Grand Cayman and down at our resort. Caradonna has some great specials to share with you for 2021. If you can certainly earn extra credit to spend in the resort throughout the year for bookings in 2021. We also have our summer and fall special, which includes half-price diving and also a 2-for-1 on certain courses as well, like Nitrox, Peak Performance Buoyancy, Fish ID, and Naturalist as well. So, I mean, we hope to see you travel again. I'm sure the restrictions are going to be lifted soon. Many people's economies are starting to open. And it was a great time to start planning for 2021. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you have any questions, then Kim, I think, is there to help. And obviously I'll be on here as well. I just hope that everybody is safe and well, and thank you for your time. And if you have, if you want to make any bookings, just contact Caradonna. They'll be happy to help.
Emma Jane, I'm going to just go ahead and have Kim start to give you some of the questions that came in, and there have been quite a few and really interesting ones. So
my internet is really okay. Sorry.
All righty, Kim, go ahead.
Hey, Emma, we just have a few questions for you. Miranda is asking about what shore diving options you have for solo divers.
Okay, that's a good question. So there isn't any solo diving in the Cayman Islands, and we certainly don't allow it at Sunset House. You do have to have a buddy. Now, on saying that, as I was saying, the hotel itself has so many divers staying in that it's very hard not to meet someone to dive with. Or you can pay a little bit extra and have one of our dive instructors buddy with you.
Okay, and do you still offer shore diving on the day of arrival to just kind of get acclimated?
Yes, so as long as you have a diving room package with boat diving, you have a complimentary checkout dive when you arrive. But as long as you come in at a decent time and the dive shop's still open, yes, you can certainly shore dive on your arrival day.
Okay, and then we had a question from Rita. She was asking how the 3-tank safari works from the north. Do you shuttle divers up and back to the location? Do you dive the north wall? And how does that work? Is that on a certain day? Or
yeah, so we usually try and run that. We try and run the 3-tank safari once a week, usually on a Wednesday. And we leave from Sunset House in vans, and we drive you over to Harbour House Marina, which is where we keep our north boat. It's about a 15-20 minute drive from the hotel, and then the boat leaves from there. We head out through the North Sound onto the North Wall, and then we do the 3 dives up on the north side, and then do all back in reverse, bring you back to the hotel. If for some reason the weather is not great on the north, then we would run it on a different side of the island and just go out to 3 different dive sites somewhere else.
Okay, sounds good. And also we had a question about the Kitiwake and Stingray City. Do you do those on certain days? And is there a minimum number of divers required for those trips?
Yeah, so the Kitiwake we do on a Monday and a Wednesday, and Stingray City is Tuesday and Thursday. But to be honest, if we have the demand, we would run it on any day. If you're on a dive and room package and you've booked it and you happen to be the only 1 or 2 people on the boat, we're still going to run it. So we don't really have minimums, usually 6 people. But as I say, if you've prepaid for it as part of your package, it's going to run.
Okay, sounds great. And also night diving, do you offer that by boat as well, or is it just by shore?
I didn't mention night diving, I forgot that one. So thank you for that question. So night diving, we run a guided night dive on a Monday, and this is usually from shore. But if we have 6 or more people, we will run it from the boat. So it just depends how many people there are. But again, with your diving room packages, because you have unlimited shore diving, that includes night diving. So on any evening, as long as you're with your buddy, you can grab tanks from the dive shop before it closes, and you can go out and do your own night dive. So really, with the unlimited shore diving, you could dive 24/7. You can dive in the morning before you go out on the 2-tank boat trip, do your 2-tank boat trip, come back, have a shore dive in the afternoon or 2 shore dives in the afternoon, and then do a night dive. Obviously, all done on your computer and staying safe and being aware of your decompression limits.
Okay, sounds good. And we just had a couple more questions. A few people were asking about when is the best time to go as far as diving goes and weather.
So it's, Cayman is very lucky because, we do have diving all year round. We don't really have seasons where we close down. You can come any time of the year. On saying that, we have our seasons as well. So during the winter months, which is actually high season, yeah, it can be a little bit rougher and the water is a little bit cooler, but that's not every day. And the unique thing that we have at Sunset House and around the island is that we can move the boats to different locations depending on what the weather's doing. So personally, the summer months are great, very calm but very hot. The winter months, as I said, they can be a lot busier because it is high season. For me, August, September, October are great times to visit. The island's slightly quieter. You maybe won't have as many people on the boats as well.
Okay, perfect. Just a couple more short questions. One was regarding the shuttle into town. Is that possible to use for dinner time, or is it a certain time of day that it goes, or how does that work?
So our complimentary shuttles are at certain times a day. So the one into Georgetown goes at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, and it comes back just after 4 and just after 6. So if you went in at 4 and had a few drinks, had a look around the shops, then you could certainly be in there for dinner, and you could either walk or taxi back. So the hotel to Georgetown is about a 15-minute walk.
Okay, gotcha. I think the last question was about island tours. Do you offer any kind of tours that people can see the island maybe on their last day, hit the sites when they're not diving?
Yeah, so we have actually our front desk is like a concierge, so we have lots of different recommendations that we can make for you, and we work with a lot of different companies depending on what kind of tour you want to do. But my second to last slide, most of those ones we have tours that we can set up from Sunset House with our dedicated transfer gentlemen that we use. So yeah, absolutely, we can organize many things for your last day before you fly out.
Okay, great. I think that pretty much covers everything. Elisa, you still there?
Yeah. Oops. Yes, I am. Thank you very much. Great questions. I know that the Cayman Islands and Caradonna have had a long partnership, and it's known to us as being very clean and safe island and great for families, and every dive is a great dive. And I've had the opportunity to dive there several times with our president, Tim Webb. And so one of the few destinations that we actually get to dive together. So it has great memories for me, but we all can't wait to get back to Cayman and see you in person.
Yes, well, I can't wait for everyone to be able to come back. It will soon come. We'll soon get back to some sort of normality. But until then, just know that we're working on the resort, we're making things bigger and better, and we'll be ready when tourism reopens.
Thank you very much. We can't wait to see you again. Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.